difference. This one's going to catch a whole lot more air.
60 foot down. We ready? Ready? June. June pup. Chevy's not in here. That's too bad. All right, guys. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. We are out in the shop. I hope you guys enjoyed the compilation we put together. I took like one tiny clip of every video we took this year and kind of compiled it. Some of our best moments.
Did a good job on it. I liked it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much we did this year. Like, I didn't realize that the first video marking 1 year ago was when we put the new wing on the truck, because it had that black wing. So that felt like 3 years ago.
That feels like it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, crazy to think about that.
We've come a long way in a year. I mean, there's been a lot of changes. Falcon, we added the Falcon to the fleet.
A Dart.
Your truck's been gone for a whole year.
Yeah, it never made an appearance on the channel this year.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's sad. But that's coming soon. That's coming in 2022. Hopefully. God, I hope. But yeah, we met a lot of good people this year. Gotta say, another camerawoman.
Yeah, Allison's been a big help.
Yep.
Huge. And Kenny's been a big help too.
Yep.
At some of these races where we were able to get two angles, a down track angle and the starting line, that helps.
Kenny and Harley have helped out a lot. Just recently, Big Rob started coming around. He's a huge help. Brendan, he hasn't really made an appearance yet on the channel, but he's new and he's been helping a lot. We're starting to get a good team put together for what we're doing here, and I can only imagine what next year holds. But
what was your favorite race of the year?
Well, I was gonna say War in the Woods. That was one of the best ones as far as like the filming, and because I got to film that event and race in it as well, and that was a really fun, crazy event. But one of my favorites was probably King of Columbus when I went to the finals. And I think we were going into that race thinking, oh, well, we got nowhere else to race this weekend. This is just filler. And then we go to the finals with
You were taking out some pretty fast cars. You took out Sherm. You took out
the Austin Dwayne
diesel
truck.
I mean, there was some good racing, and that track was good.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, the Falcon's going to do okay. And we had planned to race the truck that weekend, too. But
the
truck had blew a head gasket when I lined up next to you the night prior from running it lean with the fuel system getting clogged up and the filters getting clogged up for so long, which we're still fighting. But, yeah, the Falcon did really good that weekend. You ended up next to Hate Tank in the finals. I don't think anybody expected that.
No, and I really wanted to win that race, but I knew I had nothing for him at all. But I really wanted to win that because they had announced I would have been the youngest to win that race. And I was like, damn, that would be pretty cool. But
I think probably still the youngest to get in the final of that.
Right.
Yeah, I think one of my favorites was going to the finals at Magnolia with the car, one of the first weekends out with it. You running Mike Gwynn in the final. That was cool. And definitely Dragway 42 when you went to the finals there with that was
my first race back.
First race back, and you had a lot of Chris was doubting you a little bit.
Yeah,
he said that you maybe should be in the beginners race.
Yeah.
And you proved him wrong pretty quick. But once your reaction times came back around, it was very apparent that
I was rusty. I still am.
Yeah, I mean, you did really well, and the car did really well, and it really showed a lot of the changes we made. They paid off. When we sent the transmission to Dion or whatever, and he fixed it, and it came back a whole different car because we took the transmission out, made suspension changes that week, and it came back with the transmission fresh, and it was like a whole new car.
Yeah, man. Yeah, in the compilation you can see like we pick it up from Chris Pilato, and then the next 5 clips is me in the finals of races with it. Like, it did not take long for us to figure it out.
Yeah, I think it made it 3 or 4 finals pretty quickly.
And we were honestly pretty intimidated when we first picked it up because it's, you know, we'd never messed with any Holley stuff or any fuel injection
We
stuff.
almost didn't buy it. Like,
Right.
when we went to the airport, the first pass we saw the car make, it was like, ooh, I don't know if this is for us, you know. And then,
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had just put that 4-link suspension on the car, and I don't know if he had gotten it figured out yet, you know what I mean? And I don't think he really had it 100% figured out yet. So it was kind of to me like he was maybe just giving up on that setup, and I know he had a lot of stuff going on other than racing, you know, and he didn't really have the time to dedicate to get it 100% figured out, but he was so close to having, you know, a really, really good working car. Not that it didn't work good when he had it, but it came leaps and bounds from the day we picked it up.
Yeah. Well, so what was your favorite race in your truck? Not the Falcon.
One of my favorites was racing you in the final at Marion that one weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
You had to fight hard for that because you had to go through big old Jesse Bowen.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't too happy about him jumping a frame before the light came on, and
Yeah.
basically said that it was home cooking, and, you know, because we race at Marion all the time, and Chris was flagging, and he's one of my sponsors, that it was home cooking and all that.
Yada, yada, yada.
We settled that the next weekend, though, at War in the Woods.
We did, didn't we? I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
And the funny thing is, at War in the Woods, I didn't even plan to call him out, but everybody was telling me he was going to call me out first round. So I was like, fuck that. I'm going to be the one to call him out first. So in the driver's meeting, I was just like, yep, Jesse Bowen, first pair, whatever. Let's get it done.
For $1,000.
Was it $1,000?
Yeah, it was for $1,000.
Yeah. I think he said 500. I was like, make it 1,000 or something like that. Yeah, that was cool. That was probably the best part of the race. The worst part of the race was me getting my life driven out of
By Brandon Moore.
by Brandon Moore.
No, it's all right.
That freaking pro mod of
Happens.
his.
Well, what was your favorite race or memories this year, Dad?
as much as I hated to admit it, it's the highlight of my season, in all honesty, was watching Billy go buy that Falcon and taking $25,000, putting it in a freaking safe, driving to West Virginia, meeting the guy, making 2, 3, 4, whatever it was, not very good hits, and still having the ability to just, I'm going to do this. Tossed $25,000 down, loaded it on the trailer, and came home. And I kind of stood back and just watched. I didn't really help at all. I just kind of let him do his thing. And he completely went through that car from front to back. He researched how to set the suspension up, and he did it completely on his own. Tuned the car, figured everything out, and as soon as we figured out that the transmission had a problem, when that car came back with a new transmission, it was a totally different car. And from that point on, it was a terror wherever we took that thing. And that was the highlight of my year, was getting to watch Tommy get to go racing again, even though it wasn't in his truck. And I'm not a big fan of the Falcon, but it does work good. But
now people are going to be like, if I ever do go to sell it, everybody's going to be like, I don't want to pay any more than $25,000 for it. That's what you paid for it.
Well, we'll
you
cut
can
it
bleep
out.
that out.
We'll bleep it out.
Sorry. But
Nobody's happy.
it's just like when we started with the S10, we didn't have anything. Like, it was all dirt money, moving dirt. And we came up the hard way. And we still don't have the nicest stuff on that truck. That truck is really, it runs and it competes with stuff that it should never sit beside. But that thing's always just had a really big heart, and it's always done things that it probably should never do. And so for me, to sit back and watch my two boys and Allison come together and do this year, Allison filming, and helping in every way that she has at the merch booth and everything that she's done, shipping and receiving, and Tommy starting to take over the editing, and Billy tuning. That was the highlight for me this year. Very proud of my kids.
Say the craziest moment of this year was probably at Wilkesboro when that car split in half, hitting the scoreboard. That was wild. I looked back in the side mirror to see where he was at, because I could hear him for most of the run, and then I just didn't. And I was like, where the hell is he? And I looked in the side mirror, and he's on his roof, sliding on the pavement.
That was probably the worst accident we've seen so far. Now, before we skip, I want to skip Allison. What was your favorite? Well, I mean, I guess you mostly filmed. You got to race the dart a little bit. You only got to go to pacemakers, really, and
Oh,
Marion.
I forgot, dude. I forgot. Oh my God, going to get the dart and
Yeah.
letting her see the dart for the first time. That's the high point.
You totally spoiled it, though.
Dude, no, I didn't.
Definitely
He was
did.
acting
She
so
literally,
weird.
she already knew, dude.
Because
Whatever.
of you.
The night that your mom and dad was here and surprised you, like they were standing back here in the corner of the shop, and you walked in, and you didn't even know your mom and dad was here. And just the fact that we got to go to Detroit and pick that car up with Limpy. Limpy was there when we went to get it.
That was cool.
And just the whole dart experience has been incredible.
It was unbelievable. I still can't believe it sometimes. I mean, it all came from one conversation that I had with Billy. Just the stupid
2
conversation.
nights before.
Yeah, 2 nights before.
I'm very impulsive.
Meanwhile, I spent 6 months looking for a dart, and I couldn't find one
And you
anywhere.
spent like a year looking for just a project car. You were looking for that Dakota, but you know.
Yeah, I
We
just
were
told
going
him,
to-
like, I didn't think the Dakota would be a good no-prep vehicle, and
Yeah.
he just turned around and bought a dart.
Like we were going, Limpy was with us, and we stopped at that little bar, but we were going up to Jegs. We were going up to Delaware, to the Jegs warehouse. And Limpy was with us that day. He was hanging out here for a week or so. And we sat down at the bar, not the bar, but at a booth in this old pub. And Billy pulls out his phone. He's like, "Look at this, Dad." I'm like, "Dude, that's pretty freaking cool. 67 dart."
I didn't even think it ran. Like, I thought there was just a motor in it and it was not finished.
There's honestly a lot of nice stuff on that car.
Oh,
The
yeah.
more we take it
It's
apart,
really
it's got
nice.
like Holly stuff everywhere. It's
When we
got
got there to go look at it and potentially buy it, like, he's like, hey, go ahead and start it up. Like, and didn't have to pump it or anything. Just
that was like the deal breaker, probably. You're like, oh,
and it
deal
sounded
breaker.
good. It had like nice exhaust on it.
dude, the exhaust on that is nice. The nicest part of the
really
car.
nice.
Yeah.
Like we went in
Holy
the house,
shit.
and this guy that had the car brought out all this documentation and stuff. And the first thing I did, you're in Detroit, Michigan. First thing I did when I got there, what'd I do? Climbed underneath of it.
Yeah.
Because I figured the bottom of the car was going.
Yeah.
And the instant I saw underneath that car how clean it was,
It's from
I-
California.
I came out from underneath the car and I looked at Limpy. I said, "That car ain't from Detroit. I don't know where this thing came from." And then when we went in the house and this guy starts bringing out all the documentation, and I asked him, I said, "Where's this car from? Because it's not from Detroit." He goes, "Oh, I had it shipped here from California."
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Let's load it up."
It's done.
It's
Yeah,
done.
Done deal. But
So, what was your favorite event to film this year?
War in the Woods, without a doubt.
Really? Yeah.
Without a doubt. It was the hardest and the easiest event to film all in one. I mean, I was getting smacked on the starting line.
There
Somebody
was a lot
knocked
of
the
people
camera
there.
off out of my hands.
Yeah.
I got elbowed in the face a couple times.
that was
but
the best atmosphere.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was.
It was
The-
crazy.
Like, I feel like the energy really got captured in the video, and it was,
Mhm.
that was definitely my favorite one to film.
How about the bat that flew at your head at KD? That was pretty wicked.
I don't like flying things. So.
She goes through a lot to film for everybody. Like every time we go to KD, something really bad happens with she gets stung by a bee every time we go to KD.
So is that your worst experience of the year?
Probably.
You're doing pretty good if that's
No,
your
my worst experience is every time Gap Train comes up.
Yeah.
You have a heart attack every time it lets go
Yeah, I
by.
sit there, I'm like, it's coming. Don't jump.
Boom.
MAK TV, they got that truck with the turbo behind the
Yeah.
cab. It always bangs really loud right before
Every
it takes off.
Every time.
Well, I guess we'll get into the second portion of what are our goals going into 2022.
You gonna start with me?
Sure.
My goal is pretty much just to get my Nova running and to make some races with it in the spring. I want to get it to where I'm confident to take it to the track and race it right away. I don't want to come out and start racing it with it half cocked or struggling. When I come out with it and start competing, I want it to be right. So there'll probably be a lot of testing going into it, and there might be a lot of struggles, but we're gonna keep working at it, and we don't ever quit. So we'll get it one way or the other. But that's my goal, is just to get that going, and I'd like to do some upgrades to the truck too, the ignition system on it, maybe put it on 16 volt.
We've got that new engine up there at Bob's. We need to get.
Got to get a new engine in it so I can take that one out.
This is Tommy's street motor.
I've been beating the snot out of your little motor.
It's taking it.
It's taking it for sure. It's like a miracle motor.
Yeah.
Probably got 500 passes on that rotating assembly.
Yeah. That's
nitrous to turbo to everything else.
Yeah. Still going
the old
strong.
Ohio crankshaft crank and rods are still hanging in there.
Still going strong though.
Speedmaster block.
Yeah. Wiseco pistons hanging in there. That's the only new thing really in it. Everything else is used stuff.
But it was never intended to go as fast as it's going. It was just going to be in Tommy's street truck to run.
To be honest, it'd be a hell of a lot faster if it had a bigger camshaft in it.
Oh my God, yeah. Like we just put that cam in because that's what we had. And COVID, you can't get cams. Now we still ain't got any cams, but we just had it, so we stuck it in there. That was the smallest roller that we had.
Pretty much out of breath at 7,600 in high gear. So the old motor, the 15-degree motor, wasn't worth a shit down low, but it would run to 8,600 out the back. It's never perfect.
We're just trying to get through this year. I mean, we're just trying to get through this year with it. So we've made that, but now it's it's going to be in there for a little bit. So.
What are your goals for next year, Dad? I know you were talking about your Nova.
In all honesty, my goal is to get another building out back. I want to get another building put up out back.
Yeah, space is a problem right now for sure.
And I'll try and get my Nova back together. I wouldn't mind doing some street legal stuff, but in all honesty, Billy's truck is fully capable of running street legal if it had stock windshield in it. That's all it needs. And put it back on E85. I mean, it could run.
I'd have to put an intercooler on it.
Yeah,
Same thing with my truck.
But now that you're doing your own fabrication work, we don't have to sit and wait and beg and plead and pray. I mean, you can just take it down there to your shop and have it done.
Between me and Rob, we're getting pretty good at it already, like just in the first week or two that we've been doing it.
Rob's the cutter, you're the welder.
Yeah. Rob does all the cutting and making everything look. He's very patient and good with cutting shit, and I'm not good with cutting shit. I'm good at sticking stuff together and welding it.
Hey, can you have Rob take a look at your upper control arms?
Yeah, maybe he could fix that too. But
what are your goals?
I would like to not lose first round all the time anymore. That's my goal. We're gonna put spray on my car next year. I'd like to get past first round a little more often.
Yeah, we're actually gonna leave the 340 in the dart for another season because we want to get the chassis right first before we. I mean, once the 340 is out of there and we try and put a Hemi in there, so many things have to change. The whole car is going to need rewired.
You guys are moving the leaf springs.
Yeah, we're doing that right now. Yeah.
So you'll be able to fit a bigger tire on it.
Yeah, we'll be on slicks next year. Finally.
Honestly, that little 340 runs good, and I don't think it's seen its potential yet at all.
No,
dude, we already had some insane 60-foot times on hard tires.
On a 235.
Right. So
tire.
it's gonna get wicked.
And that car scaled really good.
It is.
Yeah, it was close to 50-50 surprisingly.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna try and avoid red C4 Corvettes and 600 cubic inch all motor Novas.
Well, I heard the rules of pacemakers next year might be BF Goodrich tires or Cooper Cobras.
Really?
You can't have no Toyo proxies.
Interesting.
That are basically a drag radial or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's another thing is I'm seeing
400 tread wear.
I'm seeing a bunch of rule changes for different events next year. I don't know what next year is going to be like, but I think we're going to see some new classes and some different interesting stuff going on with different events in their classes.
You were poking around at me today asking if I would do an event again. What was that all about? I keep seeing you nosing around on blue collar.
I don't think we should do one, but it would be cool to see if we could just if we still could bring a crowd together again.
We can.
Yeah.
Back when we
No
were doing
doubt.
events,
When I brought a crowd together when no one freaking knew who I was.
True that.
Like the
yeah,
first
when
year.
we were doing the events when we first started, nobody knew who we were. And we were packing places, man. I mean, look at KD, and we didn't have my channel back then, and Allison wasn't here, like the Dart wasn't here, and the Falcon, and like everything that everybody pays attention to, and the reason they're drawn to these channels wasn't there back then.
It would be wild if we threw one more event, but it's probably not a great idea.
Throwing events is like taking care of a bunch of preschoolers.
I hate to say it, but racers are like entitled children.
Yeah.
I'm even guilty of it sometimes, you know. I remember with Grand Hustle this year, I was complaining and stuff, but I didn't put myself in their shoes.
It's a lot of stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
One event a year would be the max, I think.
And it's hard because we all have different ideals of what the rules should be and stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll wrap this one up.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. I hope you guys have had a good Christmas. This is going up on New Year's, so
Yeah, I hope everybody had a good Christmas.
He was wanting to upload this on Christmas, and I was like,
Me?
we might
me.
might upload one more time between the 25th and January 1st. You never know.
We'll make this the last video of the year. But yeah, we have high hopes going into 2022. Can't wait to see what it holds for us. This year was pretty wild, so yeah.
You'll see a lot more racing next year, and probably
We have,
some more
like,
street racing because this
our-
year we only street raced like one time.
Yeah. Our ratio of race cars to race car drivers is like 3-to-1. It's bad. But
I want to do some cruising with my Malibu this year too, make some
oh
contact
yeah,
with it.
yeah.
We'll have a little bit of everything. From 2,500 horsepower to 300 or 400 horsepower.
We got it. You go ahead and close that.
Thank you guys for watching this year and for all the support. We couldn't do it without y'all. And we'll see you next year.
Yep. See you guys next year. Thank you guys.
See ya.